One thing that comes to mind is a question that people routinely either ask in the lives or they send me a message directly asking for my opinion about it. That question is, should I do a boot camp? And 90% of the time, I tell people, no, I hate boot camps. Although I've never taken a boot camp, I typically tell people, you do not need to take a boot camp. You do not need to be in a boot camp. And people look, well, what do you got against boot camps? And it's not the fact that I have something against boot camps. It's just that the boot camp, if you will, has this connotation of we can prepare you and you'll be successful when you get done with this boot camp. And oftentimes, that's not the case. A lot of times, some people are in just as bad of a shape when they start and when they finish. So what is my issue with boot camps? Well, here's the thing. What I typically tell people when they ask me that question is I have a collegiate degree and it took me 4 to 5 years to earn that degree. On top of that, I have years of experience that I was getting while I was in college. So you're telling me that you, with no experience related to tech, other than knowing how to use your iPhone, knowing how to use your Android, and knowing how to use a Windows-based PC, is going to be able to go to this class for 3 months, maybe 6 months, and you're going to be able to compete with me in the job market who has a full-blown degree and 4, maybe even more years of education and knowledge on the subject. That's comical. And so this is where I tell people that, yeah, you can go to a boot camp, but that boot camp is going to probably fail you. And there, in my opinion, having 3 months of experience is not a bad thing. Having 3 months of knowledge on a specific topic is not a bad thing either. The thing is, 3 months trying to learn something brand spanking new that you have never seen before or you have seen in a very limited capacity, and then say after this 3 months, I can dominate people that have been doing this for 4 years, is not going to prepare you right. It's actually a setup. And so now you've spent this 5 to 10 grand to get this 3 to 6 months worth of training. And now you're 5 to 10 grand in the hole. And the person that's been doing this for 4 to 5 years is pretty much succeeding in the job market. And you are still looking for a job and wondering why you're not getting hired. What I tell people, though, is that if there's a boot camp and the boot camp is like a year long, then you'll probably be all right. And I say that because of the fact 3 months of information is a lot to cram in, especially if you've never seen it before. But if you stretch that out over a year, you'll probably have a better chance of succeeding. It's not guaranteed as much as getting a degree, but you will have the knowledge. You will have a greater time to be able to comprehend and practice those skills, becoming familiar with what the syntax is for HTML, the syntax for CSS, JavaScript, and whatever other languages you may be working with. 3 months, you're not going to master that in 3 months. It's not like you're trying to learn what 2 plus 2 is back in grade school. And even when you were in grade school, you did a whole school year, that is, of second grade, first grade math to understand what 2 plus 2 was. That's why I tell people that you're not going to be able to get a 3-month boot camp and then get a job immediately afterwards, because that stuff takes time to practice. It takes time to master it. And yeah, you could practice it. You could go to class, practice it, then go back home, practice it, go back to class. And you may be able to get better at it, but you won't dominate out or outdo somebody that has been doing it for 3 to 4 years in a classroom environment, and probably that has internship or even co-op experience, which adds to that 4 years plus 1 to 2 on top of that, because now they actually have hands-on training, and you just took a bootcamp class. That being said, if you have a bootcamp and it is a good bootcamp, then yes, by all means, go ahead and take it. However, I typically tell people, if you're going to consider doing a bootcamp, really look at getting an associate's degree, especially if you've never done tech or never worked in tech, because an associate's degree will actually carry more weight because of the fact it's an actual degree, versus a boot camp will typically give you a certificate And if you're not familiar, certificates typically require renewal. You're not going to take that boot camp again because you've already gotten the knowledge. So your only opportunity is to move up, whether that's to get a degree or to continue learning in some shape, form, or fashion. Whereas once you have a degree, you're set, but you can still move up with that degree. That being said, hopefully you have learned why I say boot camps are a bad idea. But if you don't like what I said or you have a counter statement to it, leave it down in the comments below. I'll be glad to discuss it further, and maybe your response could be a future video. I thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up. Please be sure to subscribe and follow, and more information at rhtservices.net.